All right, YouTube, Nikki Steve's back again. This one I'm going straight off the top of my head, no notes. So as of today, the Philadelphia Eagles are officially eliminated from the playoffs. They lost to the Dallas Cowboys 37-17, puts them at 4-10-1 for the season. And well, honestly, this is what the Eagles get. You saw the game. You saw how bad the defense looked. You saw Ezekiel Elliott run all over us. And you saw Andy Dalton play like a superstar for the first time in years. First time in a long time, Andy Dalton looked like a superstar against that Eagles defense. I mean, you saw the defense was absolutely terrible. This is going against the Cowboys team that we should have had a chance at beating. And I remember last time we beat the Cowboys the first time around on the Sunday night game. We beat them 23-9. Because remember they went against third-string quarterback Ben DiNucci. When Dalton was out with the concussion, Dak had already gotten injured by this point. I remember saying that if either Andy Dalton or Dak started, the Eagles could have easily lost that game. Well, here we go, week 16. Andy Dalton starting for the Cowboys, and what happens? We all saw what happened. Like I said, Andy Dalton looked like a superstar against us. I mean, it's absolutely dominated. And not to mention, you had Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, for their total stats, averaged over 20 yards per reception, which meant Andy Dalton was throwing long balls downfield. We had Gallup, Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. The Eagles secondary could not stop the Cowboys from completing long passes. The combination of those three. Like I said, Ezekiel Elliott ran all over us for over 100 yards on 19 carries. And the defense looked absolutely terrible. As far as the offense goes, I said in a video before the Eagles bench Carson for Jalen that bringing in Jalen would not solve all their problems. And the Eagles, obviously, Jalen has shown sparks and has played better through his 3 starts than Carson Wentz has. With that being said, though, like I said, bringing in Jalen would not solve all this team's problems. And you saw that today. I mean, the Eagles still have their same offensive line problems. The defense looked absolutely terrible, especially the secondary. Just absolutely terrible. So like I said, yeah, simply bringing in Jalen Hurts would not fix all the team's problems. And you saw that the past 2 games. Whereas 2 weeks ago, or last week I should say, against the Cardinals, Jalen Hurts looked great, but the defense couldn't do anything. For the Cardinals wide receivers just demolished the Eagles secondary. You saw 2 weeks in a row the Eagles secondary got demolished. So bringing in Jalen Hurts did not fix that problem. So obviously this team has other problems. Now, as far as Jalen Hurts goes, to be fair, he's shown a better spark. He's given the Eagles more of a spark in the offense than Carson Wentz. And we also saw a nice touchdown pass from Jalen to Deshaun Jackson. Actually, nice to have Deshaun Jackson healthy for once. But even then it didn't do anything. Because we came out, we scored 17 points in the first half, but we couldn't finish the game. We had Fletcher Cox came out of the game for an injury. This whole game was a mess. I mean, we were going against a team against the Cowboys, though. Granted, they were healthier than we were against them than they were against them the first. Bleh. The Cowboys were healthier this time around than when we played them the first time. Still, we should have at least stood a fighting chance. You thought with Jalen Hurts being the starter, he'd keep building upon the momentum he built up the first 2 starts. You thought we'd have a good chance to at least win this game, but instead we get demolished by 20 points against the Cowboys team that has struggled all season. And the Cowboys defense has been struggling all season. Remember the first game, we really only put up 15 points because we got the final touchdown on a strip sack. But any note, now this game with Jalen Hurts as the star, we only got 17 points, and this is against a bad defense. So it's just absolute disappointment. If you look, this is an Eagles team. This game summarizes their whole season when you look at this team. This whole season, this is a team that if you look at their roster, on paper they have a very talented roster. They should have a talented enough roster to at least win the NFC East. When you look at how bad this division is, the Eagles should at least have had enough talent there to at least win out in the division. But all they've done is disappoint all season. And today's game against the Cowboys, the 37-17 loss today, is a perfect example of their season. They have all that potential to make something happen. They theoretically have a good chance to do something, but instead they do the exact opposite. That's exactly what this game was. And it fits perfect. It's basically a perfect, what's the word I'm looking for? This game perfectly represented the Eagles' season, where they had, like I said, they had the opportunities. They should have had everything to get it done, but they do the exact opposite. They have plenty of things that should, in theory, work in their favor, but it goes the exact opposite instead. There's not much else I can say except Eagles, this is absolutely embarrassing loss against a Dallas Cowboys team that has been struggling all season. It's embarrassing that the Eagles are the first team out of the 4 teams officially eliminated from the playoffs. Because out of the Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, and, the football team, we'll figure that one out when they get a new name. Any of those 4 teams, the Eagles, who theoretically should have had the talent to win the division, are the first ones eliminated. The first ones. But you know what? That's what they get. That's what they get for all season. Terrible offensive line, bad defense, terrible play calling, and terrible quarterback play for most of the season. That's what they get being the first team eliminated in the NFC least. I'm not even going to call it the NFC East. I'll call it the NFC least. The Philadelphia Eagles' embarrassing performance against the Dallas Cowboys is the perfect way for them to end their playoff hopes. Going in a game where they should be able to win, but they don't. And quite frankly, this is exactly what they deserve for the way they played. As far as the Eagles, they have to make a whole lot of changes going forward. But I'll say this. After next week's game, when the season's officially over, sometime next week, the week of January 8th, I'm going to make a video about the Eagles and their offseason moves they should make. So stay tuned for that one. As far as this game, there's not much to say. There's not much I really want to say. All I'm going to say is season's officially over. Eagles have to make big changes this offseason. We'll talk about that in an upcoming video next week. Stay tuned for that. Nikki Steve signing off. Like, comment, subscribe. Feel free to make a video response if you'd like. And I'm out.